Thank you to everyone who has popped over to Club Copilot here today. This is our first time here in the club, and we're working out those technical kinks. But I am Heather Cox. We went forward. There we go. I'm Heather Cox. I am one of the hosts of Club Copilot. If you are in the team, you might have seen that I am all education all the time. That's the world that I came from. That's the world that I live in now. And I am so thrilled to have two incredible co-hosts with me, even though I did tell Carlos I was going to give him a hard time because he did not post his introduction to let you know who he is. So we'll go to Dwayne, and then Carlos will give us a little intro.
Hey everybody, my name is Dwayne. I work for Heather. She told me to be here and to do this. No, I'm kidding. I do work for Heather, but I've spent my whole grown-up life in education IT, and it's pretty cool to be able to talk to all kinds of education, school districts, community colleges, universities, the whole gambit, right? It's really looking forward to having a call that's themed, number one, around fun, but number two, we'll talk about Copilot also here.
I guess it's my turn. All right. So I'm Carlos. My job is to stay out of trouble. So I'm gonna go with the education all the time as well. So actually, Dwayne and I both come from an education background. I come from a K-12 background, former teacher, and been with Microsoft for now a little bit over 10 years. Happy to be here. I'm absolutely obsessed with Copilot, and Heather came knocking and said, "Hey, we got to do this." And here we are.
Awesome. And I know that I see we have amazing Microsoft folks that are on the call. Renata's got her camera on. Everybody's allowed to have their camera on. You can totally do that. Join us, have fun with us. Microsoft friends that are here, you're welcome to answer questions in the chat or whenever we have that. We're going to do Q&A at the end. And this recording, the slides that we share, and any other links, we're going to put in our team on Teams. If you are a friend of ours from MS National Office Hours and you're joining us here, you know that we put the recordings up on YouTube. We're not going to do that for this particular community, but we will make sure that you have access to those, so don't fret. But to start us off here, oh, great, we have a Microsoft certified coach. That's amazing. To start us off, we want to know where you're coming to us from, because when we were getting the registration, when people were putting their things in on the form, it was everywhere. We have, I think, oh, Carlos, you will be happy to know I officially did add someone from Switzerland. Carlos told me he was not participating if we didn't hit a certain number and we didn't have somebody from Switzerland. So sorry, Carlos, you are officially stuck on this.
Why I'm here.
Okay?
It is why I'm here.
Okay, Canada, amazing. Oh, Belgium, see, told you, international. All right. This is awesome. Ohio, got some Buckeyes there. South Florida. Amazing. Well, we'll keep dropping all of that in the chat. We want to know. We're going to do some exploring with some of this later, but to set the ground rules, we want to talk about what the purpose is, because as I mentioned, it's a little different if you're familiar with some of our other communities. So we're going to lay it out a little bit of like, what is it, what isn't Club Copilot. So to start us off, it's going to be a safe space for us to learn and ask those questions. We really just want you to deepen your knowledge, your understanding, all that good stuff. Best practices, we'll share them, but you're probably using it too. And if you're not, that's fine. But let's give and take. You share yours, we'll share ours. Scenarios, tips, and tricks. We know that there are so many roles in education, probably more than all the other industries out there. We have people doing all of the things. So let's talk about different ways and scenarios. What are those tips and tricks? We're going to give you the latest news and updates. Make sure, Carlos, I know he had some that we'll be sharing maybe in the team later. And then this is end user. So if you are, this is not going to be, well, there you go. Let's just go straight to the what it's not. It's not going to be tech support. It's not going to be like, it's not working, help me out. Again, MS Office Hours, we talk a lot about tech support. So if that's your thing, we'll get you in there. All Madam President from MS Office Hours, Marge, is in the chat here. But it's not going to be tech support. So if that's what you're looking for, totally apologize, but it's not here. Licensing and cost. I know y'all are thinking it. I know it's there, but we're not doing it. We're not going to do it. So if that's what you're here for, we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to tell you why it's so amazing. It's not going to be a vent session. I know, just like when we started, the tech didn't work. Sometimes the tech doesn't work. I get it. Okay. I was here. We have spent so long prepping. And of course, my teams decided it wasn't going to work, because that's reality. So we're not going to vent about what's good, what's bad. We're not. And we're not going to compare and contrast. We know there are other things out there. We know, we get it, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for M365 Copilot. So Carlos,
Heather,
do you
listen.
want to take us down a little pathway?
Do you mind if I share my screen? Because I will tell you what is working for me right now.
I would like you to do that.
I am going to share my screen and just give me 1 second over here. I saw someone from Italy and I'll tell you what's working. My Copilot is working. All right. I'm going to go right into what I do every single day. I ask Copilot random things. I saw somebody was from Italy. I did not see my Switzerland person. Maybe they weren't in there or I just didn't see them. So I might be dropping off this call. No promises. But I was thinking, I've never met anyone from Italy that I can really think of, like true Italian. No, I don't think so. So I'm going right to it. Tell me 10 things I need to know about Italy, right? And I'm just taking a look at this, the fashion capital, which is interesting. I kind of put France a little bit more there in Paris, but maybe I'm wrong. But something really grabbed my eye, and that's his coffee culture. Oh my God, am I a coffee fan? And I will tell you my favorite. I do drink Italian coffee. My favorite one is Segafredo. So that is Italian coffee. And then, of course, because I'm a foodie, if I was going to Italy, what are the top 5 things I need to know? Or what are the top 5 things I need to eat that are unique to Italy? And I started seeing all this stuff that I've never had. I mean, I've had carbonara, but I mean, this is made a little bit different than the way that I've actually had it. So just wanted to show you it's working. I absolutely love Copilot, and I felt like the first thing that needed to be shown about Copilot is stuff about food.
All right. Well, you know what? I love it. I love it. I've been using Copilot in that way a lot. We're going to come back in here. We're going to bring this back up. Don't worry, the music. Oh, nope, sorry. Yep. Yeah, we don't need the music again. All right. It's jumping all over the place on me. Is it doing it to y'all?
Yep, it's doing it.
Wow. See, I told you, it's just mad at me today. You know what? It's mad. Why don't you take it, Dwayne? It's very angry. In fact, it's going to be Dwayne's turn anyways. So we're going back to school, y'all. We're going back to school because we thought, okay, it is like a strobe light at the club.
Renata nailed it.
We're going back to school because that's what this is. We're talking ed tech here. So we're going to take, I upgraded Dwayne. I made him a professor for this. So we figured before we jump in, before we start really going deep diving into Copilot, we needed to really understand the foundation. What are some of these words? Because I'll be very honest with you. I use a lot of them and I could not define them. I could maybe put them in a sentence. I could, reference them here and there. But if you actually asked me what that was, I don't know. So Professor Hyatt here is going to give us a little vocab lesson. So Dwayne, go for it.
I think it's fitting that in an education themed call, we'd have vocabulary words, right? But before we jump into that, I want to point out something pretty cool about what Carlos just did with his prompt. Maybe he can drop a template for you in the chat or something. Carlos asked Copilot a question and Copilot provided an answer. And that's different in 2024 than it was in 2022 or the last 20 years of us using search engines. So this will sound a little bit markety, and my MS Office Hours friends might make fun of me, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to say that Copilot is an answer engine, not a search engine. So you just ask it what you want, and it provides you with answers instead of providing you with lists of websites that might contain the answers. But we're going to get into our vocabulary lesson after I get off that soapbox. We're going to go through some words. These might sound basic for some of you, but we are starting Club Copilot with the assumption that everyone is new to Copilot and generative AI. So we're going to start by defining some terms, and these terms will serve you throughout the rest of our Club Copilot journey, right? So what is Gen AI, generative AI, right? This new technology, relatively new technology that came out that allows you to create stuff. Couple of different things that are at the forefront right now is creating text. And then another one that's really popular that you have seen Heather use throughout this entire presentation and on my background, I think, is creating images. Those are some of the really popular things right now. There are add-ons and all kinds of stuff out there that help you make songs and all kinds of things. But thing about this that's so popular is, you know, I said I've worked in ed tech for a long time, most recently at a research university. If you think about what AI was just a couple of years ago, it was very specific, it was very focused, and it was only accessible by a few people. I worked in ag. We had a lot of really impressive solutions that were built that used AI, but they were only available to researchers that were up to their eyeballs in studying and creating. Generative AI is now accessible, open to everybody to use. So that's one of the biggest things to take away here. Now, what's underneath it? What's doing the generating? Well, that would be, in most cases, a large language model, also known as an LLM. And again, some of this might be review for some of you, but maybe it's new for a lot of you. So what is a large language model? You can think of it kind of like an engine. It's not just a database. It's a little bit more than that. It can connect natural language words and understand, even predict words that are coming next. So it's trained on basically public knowledge. So everything that's available out there that's publicly accessible has gone into creating this natural language engine that can read and produce natural language and human-like responses. How many of you heard early on, you know, when ChatGPT came out, that it passed the bar exam, right? It can do that because it can understand the question and it can produce a human-like response, which is pretty sweet. So what's a type of model? So one of the most popular ones you'll hear about is GPT. T doesn't stand for text. A lot of people think it's T for text. That's not it. Generative pre-trained transformer. This is something that was developed by OpenAI, the company that created ChatGPT, a company that Microsoft has been partnered with for a really long time. When ChatGPT came out and became kind of exploded, right? It took 90 days for ChatGPT to hit 100 million people using it. That's like light speed fast. But we've been working with OpenAI for a lot longer than that. So we've been working with them for several years to help generate and create a lot of these things. So a GPT is the type of LLM created by OpenAI, and it is going to be sitting behind a lot of your Copilot experiences. Moving on, and there will be homework and a pop quiz at the end of this, so get ready. How do we talk to the large language model? Well, we provide a prompt. This is one of the most important things that is going to come from Club Copilot, probably. And any kind of thing that you do with any kind of training around generative AI, the most important thing that you learn as a user is prompting, because prompting is how you ask the AI to do something for you. And the kind of prompt you provide really influences the kind of response that you get. There's a saying in programming. It's a little harsh, but it's true. Garbage in, garbage out. So if your prompt is not so great, your response might not be what you expected. So there's a lot of thought that you might want to put into how you ask AI to do something. And if you look at an app like Teams, there's buttons everywhere, all kinds of features and things you can click on. But if you think about how you interact with generative AI, you just have a prompt. That's it. That's the only thing that you can do to get it to do something for you. So it really, really matters. Now we're going to get a little techie. We're going to talk about grounding. Grounding is how you connect what the large language model knows to real world data. You can think of a large language model, I said like an engine, right, on natural text. So visualize it as an encyclopedia. It's printed, it's static. It was created at a certain point in time. It knows everything there was to know up until that certain point in time. But we have other pieces of data that also have information, and we can ground AI in those pieces of information to increase the accuracy of its responses. And we'll have a little slide about this coming after the next vocab word to kind of make a little bit more sense. Now we're going to get really nerdy. Ooh, the Microsoft Graph. So this is where we start to talk about Copilot for M365. So M365 itself is a subscription, a service, a set of services that your school or work may have with Microsoft. It includes all of our online tools, things like Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, your email, Microsoft Forms, like lots of things live inside of M365. And the graph is a web that we create internally to your organization that maps out your connection to things inside of M365. This is getting kind of geeky, but let's roll with it here. The graph knows I work with Carlos quite often. If I go type in CAR in Outlook or in Teams and I'm searching for someone, it's probably going to pop up Carlos Fernandez. And so, oh yeah, you know him, you talk to him, because my connection to him is larger than maybe another Carlos, throughout Microsoft. I'm sure there's more than one Carlos that works for Microsoft, right? So the graph is connecting you to your peers, and it's connecting you to pieces of information inside of M365. Two words we like to use for this are, it is your content and your context. It's your stuff and your person and the access you have to that stuff. I know that was a lot for the last one. So like I said, the pop quiz, Matt Varney has volunteered to take the quiz first, I saw.
Is it open book?
Yeah, there would be a recording. You just ask Copilot. Come on.
Ask Copilot. Okay, we're good then.
All right. So let's give a little bit of an example. This is a very basic example of what grounding would do for a response from Copilot. So we're going to ask a question. Give me a recipe for a chocolate cake. Well, is this answer wrong? Like, do you need chocolate, flour, sugar, eggs, and milk to make a chocolate cake? Do you mix it all up and bake it until it's done, right? That's an accurate response. However, if we were to ground AI, we would have a response more like this, right? Now I've got more specific details. I have more specific instruction. I now know more about what I'm supposed to do to actually make a cake, because I can't cook to save my own life. So if I were to use what was on the previous slide, it would come out like pudding or something. Who knows what? Might be able to eat it. Who knows? So this is just a little bit of an example of what grounding can do. And we'll talk about Copilot for M365 a little bit more and how grounding can help you there. But before we do that, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, no, Dwayne, I wanted to know. So all this stuff that we're doing, Microsoft is stealing our data, right? Like they're stealing all of our information, correct?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, great segue. If the graph is your stuff, and we're talking about AI using your stuff, a lot of people will get a little apprehensive in that moment. And there are a lot of services out there that are AI powered. Like, think about advertisements that you see and ads on the internet. Like, everybody's talking about AI, machine learning, like Amazon reviews or AI, like all kinds of stuff is AI, right? So we should be a little bit concerned though when it comes to our data, our organizational information. That's private to my organization, right? So here's what Microsoft says about stuff that you own that you also use Copilot with, because if it has access to the graph, it has access to your stuff. And I'm going to concentrate more on the terms that are on the right hand side here. But we've been developing the responsible AI system here for a very long time. Like I said, it's not new. This is not something that we just came up with. We've been working on this for years. Your data is your data. That encyclopedia that I talked about that was printed, that's the large language model. That is not being updated or trained on your stuff. It's also not being updated and trained on your usage of Copilot. And now your organization has the ability to enact controls, the same way different states have different policies on how long we must retain messages, and can we mark a document as being sensitive because it contains medical information or something to that effect. Well, yes, yeah, your organization has controls that can do that, and Copilot has to obey and honor those controls. It can't just go out and find everything. Another thing we should really nail in, drive home, is if you're asking Copilot to find stuff, I said content and context, Copilot can only find stuff that you have access to. It does not open the floodgates to everything that's in the graph and give you all the stuff. It still runs as you. So if you're asking it to find files, if you're asking it to find messages, I'm not going through Carlos's mailbox, to find messages. I don't have access to that.
Show me,
Wish you would, buddy.
Dwayne, what can you access? What are the things that, oh, looky there.
Oh, look at that. It's almost like you've seen these slides before. That's weird. Were you peeking? So Copilot for M365 is going to be a little bit different than Copilot for the web. Carlos used Copilot for the web for his example of tell me some interesting things about Italy. Now, that was leveraging the large language model, that encyclopedia, and it was also leveraging the internet. It has access to Bing, so it can do searches. Well, where Copilot for M365, again, I apologize. We named a lot of things Copilot. It's a little hard to keep track of, but hopefully after the vocabulary lesson, it'll start to make a little bit more sense. If we have Copilot, power, and we have M365, data and apps, well, guess what? Whoa, that was a weird laser thing. You'll see we have your stuff and we have apps. That's how you get to Copilot. That's how you actually access and harness that power. If you're inside your Outlook mailbox, there will be a Copilot button that you can click that will give you one-click access to the stuff that's in your mailbox. So these 4 points here are really what makes Copilot for M365 and kind of sets it apart, if I'm being honest, is access to the graph and the ability to access that information in all of the apps that you use. We'll do a little demo in a little bit to talk about maybe a way you could do that. We'll try to surprise you with the demo.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and take this from you.
Okay.
If it lets me. Whoops, hang on. I'm actually gonna stop sharing for a quick second.
Who's sharing?
I'll bring that back up. But you know what? What we want to know, we need some, if my team decides that it's going to cooperate today, because y'all have seen just how nice it's being to me. All right, I'm going to launch a little poll here for you. Let's see if that'll go. And while it's doing that, go ahead and try to reshare. But what brought you to Club Copilot today? Because we told you in the beginning, the entire point of Club Copilot is we want you to get something out of it. We want you to get information. We want you to be able to have fun, take this, learn, do all the things. Please let this not be mean to me. Please, 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 please. I mean, sorry, I'm going to get off of that slide.
You want me to take it?
Resume. No, there. I don't know why. I mean, it's angry with me. But yeah, answer that.
People
Answer.
wanna
Oh,
dance.
for the people who were forced to be here, I'm so sorry. I bet you Dwayne and Carlos are at least two of the people that answered that. I guarantee Carlos and Dwayne are. See, that's how well I know them, and I know
You
that that's
wanted
how they feel.
honesty. We provide honesty.
But we want to make sure we want to find out what is it the reason why are you here, and like I said, we're going to do a demo of one particular tool in just a minute. We are going to then go into Q&A. So like we said, it's a little different than Microsoft Office Hours. We flipped it so that, in that one we do some silliness and some Q&A in the beginning, and then we do a standard presentation. We're going to switch it up. So at the end, after we do the demo, after we give you what's next, you're free to take off, do what you need to do, have fun, enjoy the club, go around, get some water, have some drinks, whatever you want to do. Okay. But thank you for letting us know exactly why you're here, because those are the kinds of things that we need to figure out. And we're going to hone in each month. We've got our topic ready for you for next month, but we'll be asking for some feedback specifically related to that, so that when you come next month, we're going to make sure that hits exactly what it is that you need. But Dwayne, I'd like you to take us out onto the dance floor here. Dwayne is not very excited about dancing, but we are going to show you something with forms. So as you know, or don't know, I don't know, maybe you don't, but Copilot is all over the place. It's in all of
demo.
It's in all of the things. So all of our M365 tools, you're probably, if you have a license, you're seeing it. If you don't have a license, then maybe you're not seeing it yet, but if you did, you would find it all over. So Dwayne's going to take us into forms. He's going to do a little demo for us. Now remember, the demo gods don't always love us. So we're going to hope, based on the luck I've been having, that's why I'm not demoing. But there's Marge. Hi, Madam President. Nice to see you. But Dwayne's going to demo, and we're going to cross our fingers that it decides it likes us for today. So
Yep.
Dwayne, give us a show here.
We're gonna do a double
safe
demo.
for work show, please.
Yeah, safe for work show. We're gonna do a double demo. We're gonna show Copilot and we're gonna show forms at the same time, and hopefully everybody can interact with this, and we can have some fun. But we want to end the presentation with, a fun demo to get you excited. If I'm being honest, that's the goal. Get you excited. I'm here on the landing page for Microsoft Forms. I'm going to start a new form, and this might look different to some of my teacher friends who create quizzes and use forms, because check out what I've got. I started a new form, and I don't even see the normal interface, because with a Copilot license, Copilot's asking me, like, what kind of form do you want? What do you want to build? This is where I would start prompting next month's topic. I'm sure you can guess what it will be. Now I'm going to cheat because I have a prompt already copied in my clipboard, because that's how I want to demo. But I'm going to create a satisfaction survey for you. Generate. Cross your fingers, everybody.
It's like a yes or no. Like, are we satisfied, or how deep does this get?
Ooh, I don't know. Let's see. So I've got a survey. Hopefully you can do this in 60 seconds. That's the thing. How satisfied are you? How relevant did you find the content to be? How effective was the presenter? And if it's 1 star, you're judging Carlos. How likely are you to recommend this community call to others? And then a few other, different types of questions. So I built a satisfaction survey with 1 prompt. I'm going to click keep it, because it's Copilot, not Pilot, not autopilot. So before you commit to using what Copilot generated, you as the human have to accept it. That's a very important thing to remember. It doesn't write your email for you and send it. You have to accept the content that it created. So I'm going to click keep it. I might give it some style, because, I'm feeling fun. Oceans. That's cool. Let me make sure my settings are set correctly so that anyone can respond. And then I'm going to present it. And then I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to drop it in the chat. And within, obviously, I was talking in the middle of it, but within what, 10 seconds, I have a satisfaction survey that's been created, and these results will be live as you all fill the survey out. This page will update with your responses, and we'll see together how you're doing. I think that's
really
pretty cool.
You'll be kind, honestly.
I'm hoping you'll be kind. Yes. Hopefully everybody can access the survey I dropped in the chat. Yes, help me generate a sentiment survey about Skynet. Yeah. Hey, there goes the numbers. So a couple people responded. So we're getting the numbers for question number 1, your overall satisfaction with the very first ever Club Copilot call. Hopefully you found the, uh-oh, Carlos, that must have been you.
I did not give myself 1%.
Remember, folks, we're just, every first run, you got to work out the kinks, okay? All right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to
so
make sure your
we can
teams
advance
won't quit
through
on
these.
you.
This is something where imagine, this happened to me last week. So credit where credit is due. Colleague of mine, Will is in the chat, Copilot CSA. Him and I were on site at a customer, and we did this, generate a satisfaction survey for the people, for the audience we were talking to in that moment, and then put it up on the screen, QR code and everything, in just a few seconds. So question 9 is wonky. What is question 9?
It was his favorite. It was Andrew's favorite. I feel like we got to go back now and look at it.
This is really nice. Yeah, y'all agree. I appreciate that.
Just keep going so that we only see the good. Keep going. Keep going.
Look at the word cloud is dynamically updating as people are filling it in. So
nice.
Yeah, and to Dwayne's point before, the demo piece of it was, hey, let's just get it out there. It creates your foundation for you. As a human, we said that it's not autopilot, it's Copilot. It gives you the information, like it gives you your foundation. It's getting you started. It's making it ready for you, because honestly, that would take a whole lot more time if you were doing that from scratch. So Dwayne could go back in, he can go and say, okay, I need to make sure that question 9 gets fixed, all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, the human, it's your responsibility as the human to verify what Gen AI creates. I didn't do that. And I saw somebody say in the chat, like, yeah, if it wasn't a demo, I probably would have taken a little bit more time and checked it out. But point remains, like, hey, we got a survey created and some more music.
No, don't worry.
Are you sure? Because it's freaking out.
It just does not. It's very angry.
I want to change my poll now.
Take it back.
I got it.
Good Lord.
I'm taking it.
I don't know why it just hates it.
There you
hates me. All right. So we know that today was less of the play, less of the fun, but you know what? School sometimes is about just the basic learning. And that's what we needed to do. We had to give you that up front. So we needed to make sure that we were all starting on the same page. We could have given you some homework before you got to the club, but we didn't. So we gave it to you here together. But next month, that's where we really want to make sure we start taking off. So please, I know if you were one of the people that said it wasn't relevant, okay, I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. It's going to be relevant next month. What you're going to do is we are going to have prompting. So if you want to share this out, go ahead. That's the registration form. Y'all are already signed up if you're here, but that's going to be our focus for next month, because as we talked about, Dwayne said, garbage in, garbage out. The better you get with that prompting, the more likely you are going to get what you want out of it. Every image that you saw in the presentation today was created by Copilot. Every single image. Not one of them was pulled from the web. Every single one was created by Copilot, including the one that you're looking at right now. Shout out actually to Dwayne's friend, Joe. Joe, if you're in, is Joe on today? Is he hiding in the chat? I think he is, because I saw him say something. Joe actually made that for us. Because remember, we got a theme each month. So September, we were hitting the nightclub. Well, you know what? We're going to the fight club next month. Okay. Dwayne, why are we going to the fight club?
We got to fight the machine. I don't know.
Yeah, he said he was fighting.
Movie.
Yeah, but his rule is, the number one rule of Club Copilot is talk about Club Copilot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. It's not like Fight Club.
Yeah.
So next month, prompting. And like I said, it's going to be more hands-on. It's going to be more have fun. I know we had to level set. I know we had to give you some background today, but take us to the next one. That's just our Q&A slide. And I know that there were some questions in the chat, but this is a good time. Raise your hand if you want. Stick around if you want. We'll keep the recording going for the questions so that if you do need to take off, but you want to hear what something is, then that way you can get that answer. My friends that are Copilot experts, feel free, put your cameras on, answer questions. What do you guys have? I know we missed some that were in the chat. So
Yeah,
raise
feel
your
free
hands,
to
let us know.
raise your hand. You can come off, Madam President, #1, only because I guess Andy wasn't
Remember,
here.
where's
Marge,
Andy at?
if you're going to be here, Marge, you got to be nice. Remember, we don't vent on Club Copilot, okay?
Now, I was just curious, and I saw a couple related comments. Will some other Microsoft Copilots that are not in 365 be in scope for the club?
It can be. I mean, we hadn't really, I mean, as of right now, we're club co-piloting with M365, but because we own the club, you know, we can do whatever we want with it. So yeah,
And
Marge,
some of it's
we could get some
universal,
other,
like
yeah.
prompting. It could be Copilot for the web, Copilot for M365. Like prompting is just one of those essential things that you'll need to know all around. I saw a question in the chat about, are you going to cover best practices? Today's call was kind of a kickoff to establish what the community is for, and establish those vocabulary words as we move forward. When we talk about things like large language models and grounding, hopefully everyone remembers the vocab words and is ready for a pop quiz at any given moment. So not super best practices, but next month when we get into prompting, we'll definitely start.
Yeah, the PowerPoint, yes, that'll get posted for sure. Disco optional. Yep, you'll get the PowerPoint. We'll make sure that you have that. Because as we said, some of those foundational slides are incredibly important. That language, just understanding where the information is coming from. And I know I just saw another one before. You know, one of the things that I think would be awesome to talk about in the group, whether we do it in Q&A or we do it in the front section, is what Jack is asking. Adoption and usage and how we're doing that, running the pilot group, what does success look like? This is probably the perfect place for people to share. So Jack, I don't know if you have anything, if you want to come off a mute, if you have anything you'd love to share about what's working for you or what holes you're seeing, and maybe we have some suggestions to help you out.
We're just at the tail end of a summer pilot for faculty and staff at the institution. So we don't have, we're kind of using that to base our success model on, to say, hey, this looks like about what people with this kind of support would use Copilot for. I just wondered if other places are seeing really high levels of adoption that they could speak to, you know, on the call or something like that in the future. That would be helpful to know what success looks like at other institutions.
Yeah, just for a frame of reference on our end, if they're on, they can share their own. We do have that. For the Microsoft side, we won't name customers,
Yep.
you know, just for the sake of being kind to them and keeping their information private. But there are places that do have high usage. I don't know if any of them are on and want to share. That would be amazing. But creating, go Carlos.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure that we are going to have a lot of customer kind of voice in upcoming calls that are going to be sharing, hey, some of the best practices and some of the things that they've seen. And I also want to like just harp on one more thing here, Heather. Like, I think this is hilarious and funny that today we're having a funny kind of tech day where things are just a little bit off. And normally I would tell you my OCD kicking in, that would drive me absolutely insane, and I would be furious, and I would be mad. I mean, I wouldn't show it, but I'm just saying, like, I was like, oh, I can't believe this wasn't working today. But when we're talking about Copilot and when we're talking about just AI in general, this is just maybe the way that I feel, and I just want to make this comment where I am crazy excited like I know not everything is perfect, but we live in a world where crazy cool things are possible. And the way that I'm looking at using AI, whether it's just for fun or for work or for whatever reason, just the fact that I can do this and it continues to change. Like normally I'm very much the don't move my cheese person. Um, and now I'm like, cool, okay, you're moving my cheese. What else are you gonna give me? What else are you gonna go? And keep like more things are popping up. So that's why I'm really excited about this call because we live in a really freaking cool time right now with everything that's coming down the pipe.
Okay, I'm already seeing amazing things that people are dropping into the chat. So what I definitely want to make sure as we, like I said, we're going to do prompting next month. So prompting's what's coming up. And as we look at the different things with prompting, let us know what apps. We'll put a poll out, or we'll put a form or something quick. Where do you want to see it? Because that's the thing. We want to make sure that where do you want to see that, you know, if you're already using it and you're like, I need to make sure that the fact that people are saying the time savings, that is by far the one of the biggest things. And we want to make sure that when you're looking at it, we're showing you in the various apps. So we'll go in and we'll show you just what that time savings is. I joked last week we were visiting with a higher ed school, and it was amazing. We were having a great time, and I joked, you know, that back when I was teaching, no one ever gave me an assistant. You know, in education, they don't have the money to hire every teacher and assistant, because if they did, we'd probably all stay in teaching a whole lot longer. But there's so many extra things, and there's so many different asks that are beyond just teaching and just focusing on the students. And so when you think about the time saving that you get, taking that Word document and creating the foundational PowerPoint in less than a minute, incredible. I mean, what you get back is absolutely, absolutely, you know, you can't replace that time. So I love that people are sharing that piece on it. So yeah, we'll talk about PowerPoint. Awesome. See, this is again why I love the MS National Office Hours is the community helps the community. Linda, thank you for sharing. Notre Dame's hosting a forum. Already we have folks sharing. Please, please learn from each other. That's part of what we wanted this to be, is bringing together different places and people, because the more we share as a giant community, the more we all learn from each other. What other, I know that this is keeps just going, so I
I want to
don't,
go
I'm sure
back
I've
to,
missed. Yeah.
I want to say, hey, Jack, I've known Jack for a while.
Good.
Something about adoption that's unique with Copilot
No.
is Copilot is a technology
Great.
that requires the person that you've assigned the license to be willing to use it. Unlike other technology that you might roll out at your enterprise level and everybody has to switch to it because that's where everybody's going. Copilot's a lot different because it's end user engaged. Like they're the one that kick off the usage of it. As far as measuring usage, the Copilot dashboard, which I imagine you've already got connected and deployed, is a great way to measure usage. But we see the best results when there is a community built around AI. Shocker that we would build one like this. But within your organization, building what we would call like a center of excellence, where you can put all those Copilot enabled people in one place and get their feedback, you know, host monthly calls just to gather feedback from them or show them something new. A really common thing to do is to cover all the things that are on the M365 roadmap. It's like littered with new features that are coming for Copilot. A lot of times folks might say like, oh, I really wish Copilot did something. It might already be on a roadmap. It's something that we're developing and we said we're going to do. So doing stuff like that so that people are aware of new changes, that can really help with the adoption numbers that you might want to see. If I were throwing a number out, I want to see 90% minimum monthly engagement.
Awesome. I'm actually, as we are talking right now, I'm getting a channel and a post set up for what's your favorite use of M365 Copilot. I don't want to lose that in the midst of the chat. So if you shared it in there, I'm hoping maybe you'll go into our team and into that channel and answer that for us. So I'm gonna get that posted in just 1 second here.
And while you post that, Heather, I know that some people did mention that they could not reply back in the post because of a policy that they have. So if
Okay.
you are one of those people, feel free to add it into the chat. Trust me, Dwayne, Heather, and myself, we will be analyzing this chat, having some good laughs, uh, at Club Copilot after this call.
All right, there we go. Just a quick post in the, I added a best practices channel, share that for us because some of those are fantastic. I think that's the thing that excites me the most are the different ideas. The form, that the first time I saw that was last week. I had not, I'll be honest, I hadn't clicked on it. I hadn't tried to use it. I hadn't attempted to make a form. Those who know me know I'm real OCD and I love things to be just so. And so I start from scratch and it is retraining. We talk a lot about using Copilot as building muscles, changing and practicing. And I saw that form last week and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like I legitimately could have done this in just a few seconds and then I can adjust it. It makes a world of difference. So feel free, please drop those things in the chat.
There's a techie question in the chat I'll take. Do we need an A5 license or at least the compliance add-on in order to securely use Copilot? Remember that Copilot can only find what a user has access to. So if you have an oversharing problem, you have an oversharing problem with or without Copilot. Yes, there are lots of compliance options and tools that are available to you in Purview that would be included with A5. Automatic labeling, those types of things are there. If your organization agrees on data classifications and wants to roll out sensitivity labels, that's all a part of that suite, and Copilot will obey those things. I wouldn't say it's a requirement. Is it a great idea? Heck yes, it is. Like it's a fantastic idea to get your data secure and locked down. But reviewing your sharing settings in the SharePoint Admin Center, reviewing files that are out there that are shared, those types of things are definitely things that you should look at. But it's not a requirement to have A5. And like I said, I know it's, some of my MS Office Hours people have heard me say this before. If you have an oversharing problem, you already have an oversharing problem. Copilot's not generating an oversharing problem.
What else do we have? We have a few more minutes left for questions.
Hey, Dwayne, there's a good one over here. Is there a difference between the 32-bit and the 64-bit of Office? I'm assuming Laura's asking about from a Copilot perspective.
Kind of interesting, years ago, 32-bit would have been the default that would have come for Office, but that's changed. The 64-bit Office client is the new default. Most systems are 64-bit systems. There's probably not any systems left, and they surely wouldn't be Windows 11 compatible. And so Windows 10 is going bye-bye October of 2025. So I would say just in general, yeah, 64-bit Office is a great place to start. As far as Copilot performance, I'm not aware of any difference. The only thing that I would say about the Office apps that you need to be aware of is there's 2 supported update channels. You can be on the current channel, which will receive multiple feature updates per month, or you can be on what's called monthly enterprise channel. You will receive 1 feature update per month, and you'll be a little bit behind the folks that are running current channel. With something like Copilot, you're going to want the newest features immediately. This is a fast moving piece of technology, and my recommendation for your users that have a license, let them experience the updates. they're using bleeding edge technology, right? Like generative AI is fairly new still. It wasn't around like this last year. It just became available for education in January. So let those users have those updates as quick as possible. But those 2 update channels are supported. Semi-annual channel is not. Local versions like volume license versions of Office or Office 2019, not supported. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And I'm not aware if Copilot has found life on Mars yet. I'm not sure. It could probably draw you a picture of it though.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead. We'll wrap it up. Thank you. Thank you for coming to our first Club Copilot. Thank you for being here with us as we kicked it off. The idea is just keep making it better and better. And the way that we do that is by getting that information from you. What do you want? What do you want to see? How can we do this for you? So remember, we're going to the Fight Club next month. We got themes for every month. That was the first thing. Come up with a theme for every single month. And I'll be honest, I'm very excited about a lot of them. So we'll see you next month in the boxing ring at the Fight Club. And thank you for joining us today. We'll get all this stuff put in the team for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And we'll see you next month. Bye, y'all.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. See ya.